Welcome everyone again to another episode of the JR&Skipps podcast, a podcast between friends where we talk about everything and anything, touch on sports, entertainment, and just social commentary. Don't forget to like and subscribe, follow us on our channels, and tap in. But you're saying today we have a special guest, as usual, Franchy, bringing the vibes. Hey, yo!
What's going on, people, man? Happy to be here again with the lads to talk, sports, entertainment. Been a bit, you've been saying a couple of stuff, man, but
Nice to
I'm gonna let
have
you
you back on
slide.
the
We'll get
pod.
to
Nice to
that,
have you
Elo.
back. Okay, today we're going to start off with our World Cup review. We've been having a scintillating round of 32. Even though we were complaining about the increased format at the beginning of the competition, it has given us some historic matches. And speaking about historic matches, Canada makes history by qualifying for the round of 16 for the first time with the last-minute goal by super captain Eustachio to knock out the South Africans from the competition. And hey, everyone is really excited. Everyone is really happy. What do you say, my fellow people?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last minute belter knocking out South Africa, that sort of helped because for some reason they were unable to attack foreigners while at the World Cup, but I guess they could go back home and get it done.
Imagine the irony of setting a deadline for people to leave your country by the 30th and you want to stay in another land after the 30th. No,
exactly. They have to go back,
Go
man.
back to your country. But let's dwell in on the losers, literally, of the tie. What do you think this does for the Canadian squad? Giving them momentum. Jesse March has steered us into the round of 16 for the first time. What does that do for, the buzz of football over here in North America?
I think it's great for all of us because knowing Canada as a country where it's a diverse country, you're seeing everyone celebrating, talking about Mexico, Ecuador. So football is suddenly a vibe in Canada, and that's something that everyone is really excited about. So I think long may this continue, and I hope Canada can actually go far in this competition and let the vibe and entertainment continue in the country because obviously it's been fun so far. So let's quickly switch into the, heavyweights Brazil, grinding out the result against Japan. I think it was a Martinelli stunner though in the last minute to make sure that Brazil got to qualify. So I'm going to send this over to you, Franchy. What are you saying about the Arsenal big boys stepping up at the big stage?
Well, Brazil are heavyweights, as we all know, and Gabriel stepping up to put that assist in to beat Cassie. It had to be done because of the conversations earlier with, is it Sano, trying to take the piss with Brazil and all of that. So, yeah, it was a game of high tensions. And, of course, Martinelli, that guy is like an anointed guy. He just come up in special moments and score goals, but like more than half the time, it can be very frustrating to watch and annoying. And I think it's kudos to the coach, man. Don Carlo, he's got good man management skills and he's brought it to this Brazil team. But so far, so good. It's been working for him. I can't say it's a fluke. Like he keeps doing it back and again.
I agree. To your point, you mentioned Brazil having a manager that has been there, done that, and knowing how to profile players into their right positions. And speaking about profiling players, I think there's been some commentary from Arsenal fans saying Martinelli doesn't really thrive as a touchline winger, but more like an inside forward or a supporting striker. And we could see that again, like you said, Ancelotti bringing him in and not asking him to hug the touchline. And you could tell the moment he got into the box, his striker instinct kicked in. And to Skipps' his points, he scored his stunner. Since we are redefining what stunners mean right now. So, yeah, a side foot stunner, I guess.
Yeah. Honestly, touching on the point you made, though, I've never seen Martinelli playing as an attacking eight. And Don Carlo has done this twice so far in the World Cup. And he even talked about how Martinelli has the skill set required to play in this role. So just maybe we're going to be seeing Martinelli thriving in this position moving forward. And I guess big questions for Mikel Arteta for next season. Is he going to employ the same tactics or is he going to go back to the touchline winger like all of us are used to? So still on the World Cup though, let's touch about the penalty drama. Paraguay sending Germany back home. Morocco also sending the Netherlands back to the home. We did see goals from Mensah and Kai Havertz in the Germany-Paraguay game. Frank, do you want to quickly touch up on the Germany game? Any highlights there in terms of how the game went?
Man, what I just think about Germany is the manager is a fraud. Nagelsmann, like he's up there with Martinez and Coleman for the Netherlands, underperforming managers country-wise, because Germany, man, they're just all over the place, and especially during the penalty shootout and Kimmich trying to get the next guy to to take Goretzka, turning it down to, Jonathan Tah had to step up and put it over the bar. They just need to just take a recess and come back stronger. I think they've got a good generation of players coming up, and there's more tournaments in the future, but now it's time to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with most of what you said, and the sad part is I did predict Germany as my dark horse.
I was waiting. What happened to your dark horse? Like
They
were the
failed
lights
me
too
woefully,
bright?
man. I'm so disappointed. So screw Germany. Props to Morocco going into the round of 16. Saibari scoring the last penalty. I think he's also been signed to FC Bayern in a £55 million deal. So just maybe we see more of Saibari next season in the Bundesliga. JR, tapping into Norway versus Cote d'Ivoire. Haaland scored the tap in to send them into the round of 16.
It's Turner. Sorry. Let's be consistent. It's got this.
Okay, so Haaland scored a stunner, I guess. So, what you want to say about the game? A couple points though. Diomande went missing. So throwing it back to you though. Anything about the game?
I think for some weird reason, the Ivorian coach has decided to give untouchable status to Diomande, even when he seems to have like a subpar performance. He's always the last to go off. The coach is quicker to remove players like say Pepe or Ahmad. Even though from what I've seen in this tournament, those players have taken more responsibility and stepped up when the team needed them the most. So for some strange reason, I mean, if you live by the Diomande, you die by the Diomande. I mean, he kept playing them until they got knocked out. It felt sad for my man Ahmad. He was really instrumental, cleared the goal off the line to prevent it from going to 2-0. And he came back with the solo run and scored an actual stunner. It made the game 1-1. But sadly, for some reason, I don't know why African teams, the moment the game is level or they're ahead, their DNA is to revert to, defensive tactics. And we also saw that again in different games where African teams, were either level or went ahead. So I don't support tactics like that. I feel like the attacking-minded team will definitely progress, and that's what we saw that happened in the Ivorian game as well. It was sad to see them go, but I think they had a good showing in the tournament as a whole. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you raised a good point about how the African teams, they want to sit back after they go up ahead. But just maybe they don't really believe in themselves because you go one goal ahead. The expectation is you keep going and try to get another goal. And just maybe you can seal the game. And just as you said, though, it hasn't worked so far. So just maybe the remaining African teams in the competition, they can learn from this experience. And,
exactly.
Just maybe win the game. So let's quickly switch it into the France-Sweden game, 3-0. Man, I think this has been the best game I've seen so far in the World Cup. France pressing next, man. Like Sweden basically. Okay, so Mbappe brace Bakola goal. I'm going to throw this to you, Franch. What are you saying? How did the game go?
Now, I knew the game was going to go that way because I saw the starting lineups for Sweden and they just had like a Rolls Royce front and they B2 back. They have nothing going on there. I knew they were just, going to be food for France with that fluent back three. I see Olise everywhere, overhead kick, true passes. Man, it was a nightmare for Sweden. We saw our boy Georg, man. Love to the boy, man. He was on the ground for the first goal, did his best.
He tried, man. He tried.
He
had the best seats in the house, by the way.
That much quality, He tried, he tried, but man was murdered, bro. Like, man was murdered. Him and Ishak, at least you could see him on the floor once in a while, getting badged on and bullied by Saliba and Upamecano. But Ishak, man, only time I saw him was when he was shining his teeth after the second goal in agony. And I don't know how he's going to... I just hope he carries that form for Liverpool coming forward this season. But I knew they were easy food and it's not a surprise to me. It could have been 8-0 if, some good chances were missed as well for France. So easy game for France and no surprises. Very entertaining game.
Okay. All right. So still on France though, JR, they're looking at potential winners. 6 goals from Mbappe so far, 5 goals for Olise. Do you want to touch upon their key players and how far you think they can take France to just maybe win the World Cup?
Yeah, there's a reason I picked them as my favorites to lift the trophy. They have a seasoned coach, is very familiar with the squad setup. I think they are very experienced when it comes to knockout football. Mbappe has 6 goals. Olise has 5 assists. Dembele has 4 goals. So when you have your attackers firing, that's what makes the difference in knockout football, right? You don't need the entire team to play decently. Even though their midfield might not be stacked like their attack, but it's giving them the perfect base for them to, launch attack after attack. And like we saw in the Sweden game, once those front three get firing with Bakula and Due still on the wings, it's very hard for any team to withstand that for an entire 90 minutes without being popped. So they are showing strong signs why they are favorites at this point. But yeah, let's not get carried away. Stranger things have happened. But right now, they are living up to their hype as favorites for the tournament as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have to change my mind, and maybe I did go for Spain initially, but man, looking like it's a
Stay on that
France
side,
World
man,
Cup.
bro.
Nah, man.
Stay on that side, bro.
You touched on some pretty good points, though. We're talking about their midfield. I'm surprised to see Adrien Rabiot still has the starting spot in the France national team. And Tchouameni, yes, is obviously a good shot. But then there was this guy that came in the third group stage game. And what's his name? Some Kone guy. From what I saw, he gave me vibes of Thomas Partey, and just maybe he's probably going to be the future of that France midfield. Yeah. So to wrap up our World Cup chat, though, let's quickly touch upon the England game. So England basically need a Super Harry to rescue them twice, to fire them back into the round of 16. I think DR Congo, they tried their
Dr. Congo,
best,
you
but
mean?
Congo.
So I think Freddie Gibbs could have put the game to bed by scoring that chance at 1-0, and he ended up hitting the bar, and just maybe that's where the game changed.
Hang on a second.
Frank,
did you say Freddie Gibbs?
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs. You didn't see him in the number 9 of DR Congo.
I thought it was the rapper Freddie Gibbs. I'm like, when did he start playing for Congo, man?
AKA Wisa.
My G.
Is this
Okay,
doppelganger?
fair play. I'll give my take on the game. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I did watch that game, and the early quarters of the game, I could see Congo was dominating the game. They had possession of the ball. England were all over the place. I think, just like you said, when teams go 1-0 up, like Congo was just trying to hold on to the pressure. They just sat back, and England dragged themselves back to the game. 3 players that really pissed me off during the game: Rashford, Madueke, and Jet Spence. Jet Spence was getting spent on that right back flank. He was getting beat all over the place. Had Tuchel shouting for 2 games in a row. England got away with one today thanks to Super Hurricane. I don't think they would go far in this tournament. I think the next round's where it all ends for England. I'm sorry.
You mentioned players you were not happy about in the English squad. So I wanted to touch upon something too. Don't you think we are not shining the spotlight on players like Bellingham and
I could see Bellingham try.
200 million midfield.
I could see him try. He was trying, but
Rice and Anderson. I don't know.
No, come
on. Is it a mismatch
played
of
a good part
profiles,
in the
or
first
do you
goal,
think they're underperforming?
So I wouldn't call it underperforming. First of all, like these 200 million pound midfielders, they are not like attacking talent. They're more about control, passing left and right. But talking about Declan Rice, I think he had a good impact in the first goal because his run into the box basically created that extra man.
When they moved him to right back, you mean, right?
Yeah, when they moved him to right back. Okay, I might contradicting myself here. Okay. But I think Rice going to right back and still being able to have an impact on the game, that kind of tells you that yes, he's worth that 100 million. But I can't say the same about Elliot Anderson. Sort of looks like a Jordan Henderson regen.
Chipping, if you look at the France setup, you have Rabiot and Tchouameni. To me, that's why I expect Anderson and Rice to do. Just keep it tidy. When the ball goes up to Bellingham, Rashford, Madueke, handle it like something similar to what France is. I know they're far off, but you get. So now we kind of wingers they have, you now drag the midfielders to do a whole lot more work than they should be doing. We all know Declan Rice isn't the guy who's going to play defense splitting pass. Well, he would arrive in the box once in a while. You have to pay to the qualities. You're not seeing Tchouameni playing all those splitting passes. He's giving it to Olise. He's giving it to Barcola. Do the magic. Just keep the midfield tight. But with England, the setup, we have Madueke who can't really make good decisions. He crosses with his right, beats his man, takes it up to the goal kick. It's frustrating to watch. I also expected more from Rashford. Try and put a statement there why you're valuable, and man just choked his chance. Jet Spence, a right back, unfamiliar position, but I wasn't expecting much from him, and I don't know why Tuchel keeps playing that guy. I think he wanted to play faster on fullbacks to stop the counter from DR Congo, but ironically, man, it was a clean goal. There was no need for counter, and Pickford was picked out with his dinosaur hands in the near post. He didn't get it right with the selection. So many key players that would have helped, especially at the back, to calm things down. Don't know why he didn't take Maguire, but when England finally gets knocked out of this competition, these conversations will be had in detail.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I agree with you in terms of Thomas Tuchel's selections. There's a good example there. Yes, maybe Trent might not be the best defender, but now you're missing Livramento, you're missing Reece James. Why exactly didn't you take Trent? He probably would have been a better option than having Jared Spence as a natural left
These
back,
fans
having
finished
to play as a
17th
right
or
back.
something. Like, they were poor last season.
Right. Good point. Okay. So I think that's been a great conversation on the World Cup so far. Just wrapping up with England, 5 goals for Harry Kane. Is the probably second tied highest goal scorer so far. So I guess it sounds like we're all waiting for England to get knocked out so we can have a proper conversation about Thomas Tuchel's selection. So let's see how that goes. Once again, thanks for joining us on the pod. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and follow us on our social media platforms. JR_Skipps on Twitter and JR_Skipps_podcast on Instagram. Tap in.